Hello everyone, my name is Mabitsela and I will be presenting on a linear production of an underutilized legume Bambara groundnut. The African agricultural sector under open field production faces many problems or challenges such as extreme and high temperatures, prolonged droughts, and flooding due to uneven rainfall patterns, which is mostly exacerbated by climate change. So in order for the sector to meet the current and future food demands, it is important that other cultivation methods be explored. This is because approximately 123 million people are already food insecure in sub-Saharan Africa. So one might ask, why these climate smart farming technologies? These technologies have shown to increase crop productivity and have shown to also have the potential of alleviating food security in the region. And one thing that is interesting about this climate smart farming technologies is that they have shown to also reduce environmental impacts while saving natural resources such as water and soil. So another challenge in Africa that's increasing food insecurity is that there is a lack of knowledge around these climate smart farming technologies. So that's why there is a lag in their adoption. In addition to that, sub-Saharan Africa has also neglected its underutilized crop species, such as Bambara groundnut, taro, cowpeas. So these crops were mostly domesticated or have adapted to these natural conditions here in Africa. So in the study, our crop of interest is Bambara groundnut. So, Bambara groundnut is often referred to as a complete food. This is because of its superior nutritional profile, its ability to thrive under extreme conditions where most crops may fail, and also it has shown to be a suitable candidate for cultivation in areas with limited access to nutrients or have marginal soil conditions, or even in areas where water scarcity is a reality. So in order for us then to meet all of these objectives, we have adopted the following methods. So number one under our materials and methods is that where did we collect these Bambara groundnut seeds? So Bambara groundnut landraces were sourced from subsistence farmers in South Africa in a province called Limpopo. So it was worth noting that Bambara groundnut is still cultivated from landraces because of the lack of improvement or any breeding programs that are interested in producing varieties of this crop. So this crop was cultivated under aeroponics and hydroponic systems as our climate smart farming technologies. So aeroponics and hydroponics have shown to use less water and space when compared to open field production. So that is then their importance in this study. So the aeroponic system was composed of 30 units, with each being able to accommodate 12 plants. And then the hydroponic system for the traditional drip irrigated method with sawdust incorporated as a growing media. Sawdust is often a cheaper alternative to cocoa peat or coir or vermicompost or vermiculite when planting crops. So the nutrition solution applied to this plant was a modified Hoagland solution prepared from the fertilizer recommendation of peanuts, because since peanuts and Bambara groundnut are both hypogeal plants, so it was then benefiting to supply the same nutrients to Bambara groundnut. And also currently there is no fertilizer recommendation for Bambara groundnut, so these nutrients were adapted from that of peanuts. So another interesting thing in this study is that we incorporated the Internet of Things tools. So sensors were used then to better understand the growing conditions in the aeroponic system. So an IoT-based remote air and water temperature monitoring system was developed then to measure the temperature, the humidity, and then just to give a feel on where these plants were growing. So again, the sensors that were used were the DS18B220 temperature and humidity sensors, and these sensors were set to collect air and water temperatures every 5 minutes in the aeroponic system and also in the tunnel space where these plants were grown. So, as people have said, studies have shown that Bambara groundnut is able to thrive in this harsh environmental conditions. We wanted to test then to get this, to get a feel of how extreme or how hot the temperatures were in the aeroponic system, and what were the humidity conditions are, and how that affected then the productivity of this crop. So it is beneficial to use IoT-based technologies, because monitoring can IoT-based monitoring can be a tool to validate the information and understand how certain growth stages in a plant are affected at different temperatures or humidity levels. So it is sometimes important to use technology or sensors to understand the conditions in which your crop is growing, unlike just using human instinct to understand how crops were thriving under certain cultivation technologies. So here we are just showing the temperature and humidity trends inside the tunnel, and this data presents tunnel conditions on the 23rd of May 2023. So we can see that temperatures would go high as 30, and then the humidity levels would go as high as 66 or 99, depending on the different days and the different temperatures that were measured in the tunnel. So on the right hand side, it just shows that the water and air temperature inside the aeroponic system. We can see that the water conditions would go up to as high as above as 25. So you can imagine that water temperature going as high as 25, some crops may fail, but Bambara groundnut was able then to thrive under such conditions. So from our results, we saw that the aeroponic system recorded a lower should dry weight when compared. Whether I would say it's biomass when compared to the hydroponic system. So this can be attributed to the fact that under the hydroponic system, the roots were always submerged in a moist conditions, unlike in the aeroponic system, where the roots were misted at certain time intervals. So also during the growing conditions, we experienced electricity breakout in the tunnel, which then might have affected the overall growing conditions under in the aeroponic system. So in terms of number of seeds, it was interesting to know that plants that were grown under aeroponics produced a high number of seeds when compared to those in the sawdust media. This has shown that even though plants produce a higher number, like a higher biomass or shoot growth rate, it doesn't necessarily mean that they will produce a higher number of seeds. So what we would say is that since plants in the aeroponic system were able to absorb all the nutrients, unlike in the hydroponic system where then the sawdust media was competing with the crops for nitrogen, because sawdust needs nitrogen to decompose. So it was taking that nitrogen from the plants, and we know that nitrogen is important in fruit formation in other crops. So then now we would say that plants that were grown in aeroponics had the ability to absorb all the nutrients, unlike when they were grown in sawdust media. And one other interesting fact was that the 100 seed weight in plants grown in hydroponics was much higher than crops that were grown in aeroponics. This is because the aeroponic system provided an ideal decking environment for the seeds to develop, unlike in the aeroponic system that was elevated and covered with or ethaned up or mounted with sawdust only. So since the aeroponics was up elevated, maybe the light intercepted, or the light that was absorbed by the pods was too high for them to develop bigger seeds when compared to the ones that were grown in sawdust media. So these results have shown that significant differences between the lands cultivated under drip irrigated aeroponics and aeroponics were observed, and that these landers varied in their response in these two systems. And then the observed variability among the 70 land races in soilless media underscores the potential of using yield parameters to highlight diversity within the studied land races. This result have shown that you can use yield parameters to separate the land races according to their ability to adapt to those systems, or whether to say that they are suitable under this soilless cultivation system when compared to when they are grown in soil medium. And also, despite the limited use of soilless cultivation in Bambara groundnut cultivation, the findings from this study suggest that such system could enhance the overall yield performance of Bambara groundnut, because the results have also shown that Bambara groundnut under such systems were able to produce enough comparable results to when this crop is grown under soil conditions. And also, aeroponic system demonstrated positive effects on the number of seeds, root length, and overall seed weight, like the soilless cultivation systems. The results provided valuable insights into the yield performance of Bambara groundnut land races, especially when considering the development of land races suitable for various planting systems. So here we're just trying to highlight that you don't necessarily need to plant Bambara groundnut land races under soil or field conditions. You can plant them also under soilless cultivation systems. Thank you.